Your movement practice doesn't have to be limited to your yoga mat. You can do movement or yoga anywhere. You can do it in your kitchen. You just need a little bit of imagination and a sense of play. Let me guide you through a little movement practice in your kitchen. This is mine. So you might start like this. You might start facing your counter and lifting your heels up and starting to really work with your feet. So you draw your heels up and you draw your heels down. So you're really bending at your toes and getting movement and mobility into your toes. You have 26 bones of your feet, so you really have to be able to articulate through all of the bones to move well, because your feet are the first part of you that touches the ground. Once you've moved your feet and you've strengthened the outside and the inside of your feet by doing this a bunch of times, then you could go down a little deeper and you could hang on to the counter, or you maybe just hang on with one hand or two hands, and you start to go down. You start to bend at your knees, and maybe you just go a little at first and then you go a little deeper. And then you might just hang out down there and then go up and down on your toes again, lifting your heels up and down. You draw your toes up and you're moving your feet a little bit more. You're deeper into the feet, and you could just stay with that first piece. This is just a play. I'm just inviting you to play in some way. Now come up and down while you keep your heels lifted. Look forward and play with your balance. So here we go. Okay, come on up. You might hang on to the counter like I am, or you might take your hands off the counter, bring your hands together. Go on down. So you're really practicing with your feet. And we need both mobility and strength in the feet for the feet to function really well. And that's really primary as we move. You might do it again. So coming down, I'm looking forward and I'm breathing. Of course you're breathing as you do this. So play with me. Why not? All right, so you're going up and down a few more times. You can hang on to your counter. Counter's great, right, for your balance. So if you need a little bit of help with your balance, which we all do, right? Need some help with our balance. You got the counter right there. Now bring your heels back to the ground and take a moment to stand. You can bring your arms down, feel your feet. Do this with bare feet. It's way better to really use your feet than to be on your shoes. And then you might bring a hand to the counter and turn your foot to the top of your foot. So you're rolling, right, the toes under, and you're getting a little stretch at the top of the foot. If that feels like it's too much for you, just go easy. You don't have to go all the way. Switch to your other foot. You're going to maybe crack your toes. You're going to fold your feet. I always start with the feet. I suggest in a movement practice, you always begin with your feet, especially if you're going to be on your feet. We want your feet to be ready for movement. So now that you've moved your feet, let's do a little more movement. Let's get into the hips. So using your drawers, your counter, you're going to pretend you're searching for something in the bottom drawer. So what do? You just widen your feet and you get down. You start to bend your knees, but you got to get further down. You need it from the second drawer, and there you are in a squat. You can hang on to your counter like I am. Do a little side-to-side motion, hang out in your squat. A little longer for those, right, who are okay to take the hands off the counter. You could bring the hands to the ground. Right, so you can balance here, and the squat is not easy for a lot of us. We haven't practiced squatting. Just make sure that your knees are right over your toes and they're not going inward. Okay, so then you need to rearrange your legs the way that you squat. So I like to take my legs a little out to the side, bring the bum down. Maybe you take your hands off the ground eventually. It took me a while to get here. Maybe you rock a little side to side in your squat. It takes practice and breathing. You might look forward again. And then you're going to do a little strength piece to add to your squat. So some might have the hands on the ground, help themselves up. Some might take the hands to the thighs and draw up super slow. So let's do a little more strengthening for the legs. Now that you've got this external rotation, you can go up and down. You can go up and down like this. Make sure you know where your head is. Bend at your knees. You could do it also with your hands right on the counter. You can always use the counter. That's why it's great kitchen yoga. You got your counter right there. You're going up. You're going down. You're not losing your head. You know where your head is. And you breathe. Inhale to draw up. Exhale. Know where your knees are. Look down at your knees. So your knees are going over your toes. Now come down and lift your heels up again. So let's draw the heels up, and we're looking forward. Don't look at your feet now. Just know where your legs are. They're externally rotated. Your knees are drawing over your toes for those who want to take the hands off the counter. Drawing the heels up, drawing the heels down. So the heels are lifting, then they're coming down. Okay, want to add your arms to this? Go ahead. Inhale your arms up. And bring your hands down through your center as your heels come down. Draw your heels up, draw your arms up, take a nice long breath. Exhale, draw down. One more time. Inhale, heels, and the arms draw up. And again, you could have a hand on the counter. Exhale, draw down. Now let's turn toward the counter and lift the back heel up. So you're turned this way. So guess what? You're in a lunge, right? So now you get that nice long reach. Right, I'll show you from the side. You get that nice long reach. You're in a lunge. You're in your kitchen. The dishes can wait. Float your arms up overhead. Here you are doing kitchen yoga. And you're breathing. You're breathing here. You wiggle your fingers. You're in high crescent lunge. Bring your hands down through your center. And then inhale your arms up overhead. Breathe in. Exhale, draw down through your center. One more, draw your arms up overhead. And now bring your hands down through your center. And then you could put your hand on the counter, or you could bring your arm down. And then we're going to draw the arm that's farthest away from the counter, to come over. So you might have a hand here. And you're reaching, you get a nice long reach across the side into your psoas. You inhale, draw up. Exhale, fold sideways. Inhale, draw up. Nice reach across your rib cage. It feels delicious all the way down through your side. You can feel it right into your thigh. Then bring your arm down, but you have to do the other side. So switch the other way, turn around the other way. You can still hang on to the kitchen counter. I'll have my back to you here. We did this, right? We drew, maybe I won't have my back to you. We drew the arms up and we bring the arms down. We inhale the arms up overhead and we exhale the arms down. And one more, the arms float up and then they float down. So we're going to bring the hand possibly to the kitchen counter so that we have a little bit of support, and we'll draw the opposite arm up. So the same arm as leg reaches up and over. You get a nice long reach. Breathe in. Exhale. Draw back. Look forward. It's going to help you bounce. Shift to the side. Take a nice long breath as you reach. And then draw back overhead. Take a breath and then reach over. Reach, 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 reach. And then come back to the center. You might take the hand that's on the counter and draw up again. And then bring your hands back through your heart. We're going to bring the back foot up. So walking your back foot up. Now you are standing on 2 feet. Stand on your 2 feet. Take a moment here with your 2 feet parallel to each other. Close your eyes and sense yourself standing. Take a couple of easy breaths where you feel all the way down to your feet. And now roll a little to the outside of your feet. Keep your eyes closed so you can feel the outside of your feet. You're leaning both of your feet to the outer edges. You can feel, maybe you feel the outside of your legs, and maybe you feel your bum. And then go back to the center, roll your feet back, and then roll to the inside of your feet, toward your big toes. Lean in and notice what happens to your knees, what happens to your legs and your pelvis, how you have this collapsed feeling. Now come back to the center of your feet and notice you have a big toe, and notice your baby toe, and then notice back to your heel on either side of your one inside and outside of your heel. So you've got 4 points of contact so you can feel beautifully balanced through the center of your feet. And then take your hand to your head and lean your head up into your hand. So if you lean your head up, you're going to feel the very top of yourself, the top of your head, and then the very bottom of yourself, the way you meet the ground. Now take your hand off your head and open your eyes. So you have a beautiful sense of yourself standing. One of the most important things you can do is to balance well between your 2 legs, finding your feet and knowing where your head is. Now let's roll through the spine. Let your head come forward first, soften your knees. And as you draw your head forward, start to roll slowly through your spine. You can even have your hands on your thighs if you like. And you're going to breathe as you do this. And it's going to be so slow. You get to articulate through your vertebrae as you roll. Taking your time. You've got your hands possibly on your thighs. Keep your knees nice and soft. Take a few more breaths to roll down through your spine. You're not even trying to get to the ground. It doesn't matter if you get to the ground. It's not about getting anywhere. It's about feeling each of your vertebrae, making space to articulate, and then we'll come back up. No matter how far you got, soften your knees. Let's all put the hands above the knees and very slowly draw our chins in
And take your time and breathe as you roll up super slow. With your hands on your thighs, you're going to get some support, right? So it's not going to feel any pressure in your back. You keep your chin tucked in the whole time. And then when you arrive, your head draws up again. I've got my eyes closed. You might have your eyes closed. And then you lift your head up. And then you open your eyes again. And you sense yourself standing. And you've just done a bunch of movements in your kitchen. And just had a practice. And now you can get back to washing the dishes again and all the things you need to do with your day. Have a beautiful day. Namaste.